Hey everybody, my name is Paul Esden Jr., aka Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com, and welcome to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/. BoyGreen25. We've been doing a super fun series on the channel, and I want to thank all the wonderful guests that have joined us so far to break down every single free agent acquisition by the New York Jets. We brought in an expert from wherever the heck they came from to learn more about them both on and off the field. And this time, we're going to talk about the first free agent that made Jet fans go, who? So we're going to learn more about that guy right now. That is Mark Lane, the managing editor for the Texans Wire. And that player, of course, is Jacob Martin. The pass rusher signed a nice 3-year deal for $13.5 million. But first, let's introduce Mark. Mark, welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, good to be on with you, Paul.
Well, like I said, that was a first reaction when that news came across the old docket was who? Who the heck is Jacob Martin? So let's start there. What's the journey for this kid? How long has he been in the league? Where did he come from? And how did he end up on the Texans?
Yeah, he was someone who was part of the Jadeveon Clowney trade at the end of the 2019 preseason when Houston traded Clowney to the Seattle Seahawks for a fourth round pick, and they picked up Barcavius Mingo and Jacob Martin. He was a 2018 sixth round pick, and he had 3 sacks and he was okay. He was decent. When he got to the Texans, it was funny. He actually had more sacks his first year with Houston than Clowney did. He had 3.5 to Clowney's 3. And then, it wasn't until this year, actually, that Clowney finally outpaced Martin in terms of sack production.
That's hilarious.
Um, because the thing with Martin was he was real good at being a rotational guy. Sometimes he could take over a game. Well, maybe that's too strong a word, makes him sound like Jason Taylor,
Yeah.
but definitely have an impact on the game, as was seen on December the 1st, 2019, on a Sunday night football against the New England Patriots, when I think he had a sack and a half. Um, and he was just someone that when he got his opportunities, he took advantage of them. The problem was, as the Texans defensive line kind of disintegrated over the past 3 years, because when he came to the team, uh, J.J. Watt only played 8 games because by week 8 of 2019 he tore his pectoral. So and you didn't have Clowney at that point, and so really, in your defensive line consisted of DJ Reader as your impact guy, and then pretty much role players like Martin. Nevertheless, he still produced 3.5 sacks, and then in 2020 they were the most. I mean, they were the poorest defensive line. They gave up 5.2 yards per carry, the most in the NFL. But still, he managed to get 3 sacks out of it. And then last year, when you're in this rebuilding phase and you're running the Tampa 2 under Lovie Smith, he managed to have a career high 4 sacks. Again, he's someone that when he gets the opportunities, he takes advantage of them. And he's also done a real good job of staying healthy. He played 17 games last year. He played 16 his rookie year. He played 14 in 2019 and 2020. So he's someone that the more experience he gets, the more he builds on it. And if he can stay on the field and be complimentary, uh, he can definitely provide a pass rush. He can be a part of that. So if the Jets, I think, land someone like Kayvon Thibodeau, if Houston passes on him, because they may take Kyle Hamilton at number 3, if they can get Thibodeau or Trayvon Walker, and you've got Jacob Martin in kind of this complementary role, he will definitely take advantage of it. Normally, there are guys that just don't take advantage of one-on-ones, and when attention is going somewhere else on the edge rush, that team just doesn't really generate a pass rush. But that's not really the case with Martin. He can take advantage of the double teams that go elsewhere. So the Jets did, I think, get a real good one. And my philosophy with pass rushers is the older that these guys get, the better they are. Usually with receivers, for example, or perimeter players, let's take running backs, for example. The
Sure.
older they get, kind of the worse they get.
Hmm.
But with edge rushers, they they take they take their experience and then their relative old man strength, let's call it, and they're able to combine that and then take advantage of it. And I think Martin is starting to enter that particular phase of his career.
This video is supposed to be solely dedicated to Jacob Martin and Jet fans getting to get familiar with him, but I can't help but take a detour into what you just said. I'm going to be honest, I haven't talked to a lot of Texans people this offseason. That number 3 overall pick, it's a little bit of a mystery. I see every different mock draft has them doing something different with Kyle Hamilton here, Trayvon Walker there, offensive tackle. So, Mark, give us the inside scoop here. What is the thought process in Texans land on what they believe is going to happen with that number 3 overall pick?
Well, it is very relevant because the Jets are at number 4. So whatever Houston does at number 3 kind of
Of course.
lends insight into what may happen at number 4 with the Jets. So that's why. And again, Houston's kind of in the same way. Oh, what's Jacksonville going to do at number 1? What's Detroit going to do at number 2? Who's going to be available at number 3? With where the Texans are defensively, they don't really have an identity aside from Lovie Smith's philosophy of cultivating takeaways. But in terms of, you don't have a JJ Watt, so you don't have pass rushing, for example, as your you don't have pass rushing, for example, as your identity. Going back to the Rex Ryan Jets
Mm.
in the late 2000s when you had Revis Island, that was the identity, was kind of a no-fly zone, someone to shut things down. So I think that the quickest way to establish an identity at number 3 overall would be to take Kyle Hamilton, the safety from Notre Dame, because he's got the ability to play center field. He can play in the slot. He can play in the box. He can really live up to the hype of a Jamal Adams. Let's put it that way. And um, and I think that he would help Houston establish an identity quickly as a no-fly zone, so to speak. And then if you can couple that with a Roger McCreary pick in at number 37 overall, there you go. Now you've got your cornerback and your safety for the next 3 to 4 years, and it'll be difficult for teams to throw on the Texans defense. So it just really depends where Houston goes at number 3 overall. I saw the guy with the hair and the glasses, who, in my opinion, looks like Roy Orbison. Uh, he put out today that Houston takes Ikem Ekwonu,
Yeah,
and
Iquanu, yeah.
Equano. I'm sorry. I've got great respect for his game and his ability to play tackle.
Hmm.
I mean, he really is a tremendous uh, pick.
Hmm.
But for the Texans, that'd be such a waste to take him at number 3 overall, because you've got Tunsil back, you've got Titus Howard at right. They're not going to move Titus Howard inside at guard anymore. He's right tackle. So to go with that pick, they're not going to go with an offensive lineman. Not now that Tunsil's staying. So really, it's going to be Hamilton, or they may take Aiden Hutchinson if he's available, or Thibodeau. Those are the guys.
Okay, I love the insight. Again, Mark Lane of the Texans Wire joining us here on the show. Getting back to Jacob Martin for a second, the 3-year, 13.5 million. Did the money surprise you, or was that something you were anticipating he was going to get on the open market?
I would say the money surprised me because I you know, teams and people that cover teams tend to overvalue the players on the roster.
100%.
And so, of course, I thought Jacob Martin, I mean, I just told you what I thought about him.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that the rest of the league felt that way to get, because usually if a guy gets a 1 or a 2 year deal, they're really just kind of filling out the roster as the team may bring in a younger player in the draft or just to get through off-season workouts and see what's, what the team and the unit looks like. But when you get a 3-year deal like that, that's really a commitment. That's saying for this Robert Saleh era, this is a guy that we want to be a part of our future. Even though it is the short-term future, but nevertheless, we think we can win with this guy, 3-year contract. So I was surprised that the rest of the league believed in Jacob Martin that way.
Yeah, let's go to the analytics. This is the thing that Jet fans are pounding their chest about since he was signed. It's the NFL Next Gen Stats that has Jacob Martin coming off the line of scrimmage with a 0.86 second get off. That is 24th among edge rushers. Again, NFL Next Gen Stats on that. And Michael Nania of Jets X Factor dropping that one off. This elite get off, is that something? Obviously, the Jets and Robert Saleh think so, is that they're going to invest in traits like that. They believe, with our system, we can unlock something that has not been unlocked so far with Martin. So to twist that back to you, what do you believe his ceiling is? How good can he be realistically?
I think he could be a 7 or 8 sack guy because I
Oh.
think that he's starting to come into that. Going back to 2020, as the Seattle Seahawks at the trade deadline, they had trouble with their pass rush, and they tried to make a deal to bring Martin back to the Jets. I mean, the Seahawks in 2020. So he does have sort of an untapped potential, if you will. I don't know that he's going to be a 10 sack guy,
Sure, right.
but he could definitely be someone that harasses the quarterback, generates those quarterback hits, and just really affects the pass rush. And I think that's what the Jets see in Martin, and that's why they brought him in. That's why they gave him the money that they did. And uh, and again, if he's part of just this cadre of pass rushers, he's going to take advantage of those one-on-ones.
Yeah, that is the expectation with Robert Saleh. Something he's preached since coming here is that there is a rotation in the defensive line room. Hell, even Quinnen Williams, who the Jets consider one of their better players, he only played, I think it was 59% of the snaps last year. So again, they're reining everybody in, and they want to keep everyone fresh. That is again the Saleh isms that they pride themselves on and preach about. So we'll see. All of the analytics numbers seem to like Jacob Martin. We talked about the get off. We talked about the high pressure rate. That's another thing that they really like about Jacob Martin in terms of the quality of the snaps that he's giving on what appears to be a snap-to-snap basis. What else? Is there anything else that we missed? Because, Mark, I've enjoyed the conversation so far. Is there anything else we missed on Jacob Martin that Jet fans should know that are listening and watching to this series and they want to learn more about this guy, whether on or off the field, something more that they need to know besides, of course, that he's the brother of former Jet Josh Martin, of course. But is there anything else that is worth noting here about Jacob?
No, I think we've pretty much covered it.
Okay. Oh, beautiful. Well, Mark, I want to thank you so much. And again, the draft insight's also fascinating because, again, the Texans have been this great mystery. It's cool to hear someone from behind enemy lines, so to speak, give us the insight on what potentially the Texans will be doing or what they may be thinking with the 3rd overall pick. Mark, thank you so much for taking the time, brother.
All right. Thank you, Paul.
Okay, there he is, Mark Lane of the Texans Wire. Make sure you follow him on all social media and make sure you show your support for the show and also for Mark as well. Thanks, everybody.